This podcast brought to you by OuchThatHurts.com. Visit Ouch That Hurts for music, gaming, reviews, editorials, podcasts, and more. OuchThatHurts, HERTZ.com.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Save Point Podcast, episode 52, our post E3 discussion. Joined here by Ryan and Chris. Right? Chris, that's your name?
I think so.
Okay. And Ryan. Chris, Ryan is actually back. Usually we get people on here, and then for some reason they just don't want to come back. I don't know if we're just that horrible but
well, we are pretty scary.
Yeah,
because your knowledge is overwhelming.
Let's go with that. Let's just go with that. A little bit of an announcement. Very happy. I know that whoever is listening now, you're probably listening on whatever podcast service you prefer. But if you are an iHeartRadio person and you would like to get your podcast from there, we are now on iHeartRadio. So same name, the Save Point Podcast. Look us up, iHeartRadio, among all the others, Spotify, Google, iTunes, Podbean.com, Spreaker, I don't know, wherever the hell we are too. We're just kind of all over the place. So I guarantee you'll find us if you put us in. You can even find us on YouTube, actually. The other place that you can find us is actually on Twitch, and that would be twitch.tv/thesavepointtv. So twitch.tv/thesavepointtv. Check us out there. Also, look us up on OuchThatHurts.com, OuchThatHurts, HERTZ.com, for any type of other news that you want besides just the Save Point. And our last one of our great partners that we always have to thank for putting us on their site is the BS Podcast Network. So check us out, bspodcastnetwork.com. So, as we begin everything, I think I'll actually start because I really want to talk about this game that I'm playing. Is I have not put down Ratchet and Clank, A Rift Apart. It is such a great game. Anybody who plays Ratchet and Clank, do you guys play Ratchet and Clank? Have you guys ever played Ratchet and Clank?
Yes.
No.
Ratchet and Clank is it's such a great platformer. It's a 3D platformer. It's just so good. So many weapons. I know I'm not going to do it justice, but the writing is so good, but yet it's so funny. Each weapon. So anybody who's familiar with the Ratchet and Clank, there's like these crazy weapons that go out. Like one of them is a sprinkler that freezes everybody, but it turns them as they sprinkle. They start to grow like moss and ivy on them and flowers, and they freeze. There's another one where you throw a mushroom out there and it starts spitting like poison at the people. Electricity, bombs, all of that. But what they've done is there's a description for each one. Like there's a little video description for each weapon. And it's just somebody just doing like really funny, like the Glove of Doom. And it's just like, when you want to strike fear, put on the Glove of Doom. And it was just, I know I can't do it justice. It's just really funny. The writing is great. There's so much satire back and forth between, all the characters and it's just absolutely great. And on top of that, I think it's actually the best looking game out on any PlayStation, period. Any PlayStation that's ever been released. Obviously PlayStation 5 is going to have the best, but it's the best looking game by far. So that's what I've been playing. Ryan, what have you been playing?
Me? I've been playing a lot of Breakpoint. Like a lot of it for some reason. I don't know why. I just put it in and couldn't stop.
Didn't they just release a patch or something to that?
Last night they did. It just minor bug fixes and whatnot. Nothing big.
I'm
No
waiting for-
Tomb Raider anniversary stuff yet.
Interesting. Yeah, that was supposed to come out like a month ago, wasn't it, or something? Or they just never received? They never actually did a.
They never gave a
Dang.
release date for it on their roadmap. They just said they gave a release date for 2 things, and then they said that's coming, but it was just kind of like it's happening somewhere in between. You just never know, which Ubisoft does a lot.
True. Yeah, actually, my father-in-law, for Father's Day, I just bought Breakpoint for him on his PC. So, so he wants to try it out and all that. So he's excited to do that. Chris, what about you?
I've been playing a lot of Fallout 4.
Why? No, I'm only kidding.
I was about to say, I'm sorry you don't know what a good game is. It's a bad Fallout game, but it's a good game. It's not a bad game.
You know, I think the only thing I didn't like was I don't see the reason for the base building.
Yes.
And that really threw me off.
Right.
Like there's a whole like subcategory type sort of like stream of or what is it, story thread that you had to go through where you're building on the settlement, and then like I never touched it again. Like I didn't care. Like if somebody went to go attack them, like go attack them because you're just going to revive and live again.
I mean, yeah, you only have to do one of those, and that's it. You only have to. The game only makes you do one base building thing, and that's it. So.
Yeah,
just saying, you missed out.
I know it just like it was
700 hours of gameplay.
Ryan, I know that you didn't like that part either of the game, right?
No, I ignored it. I built exactly what the game made you build, and I said, "Okay, bye, good luck."
And you were done.
True. So not really a lot. I mean, we had. I know that we all had a lot going on. I do have an update for anybody that's been following this. I am hoping that I am in the home stretch for the studio. So we will be broadcasting from the studio hopefully within the next 2 to 3 weeks. And with that, hopefully, maybe our next episode will be down there. I'm hoping. It's hoping.
Get
I don't know if I said
cameras
hoping.
on us, and everybody can see our ugly mugs.
Yeah.
If you don't,
maybe I should rethink the whole studio thing.
Yeah, too late now. Too much money's been invested.
That's true. But yeah, so hopefully we'll be in our new digs by next week, or I'm sorry, by next episode. Moving on. Obviously, we talked about the biggest thing that happened was E3. And, our last episode, we talked about our predictions, but, E3 has passed. And a couple of our things that we talked about kind of came true. I think the biggest one is Elden Ring. I think that was,
Yes.
I don't want to necessarily go like into each, conference. I think I just really wanted to talk about what was revealed, like, because all the conferences were digital. I mean, you always have the awkward, like, hey, our stuff is great. I think I'll save my thought process about that type sort of way of presenting it until later. But so I think we should just kind of go through the games and then we'll kind of see what our thoughts are on it. So first one is Elden Ring. Chris, I know you're happy about this one. Why don't you just give your overall impression?
My overall impression, or do you want the shorter summary version? Because I watched the 2-hour director's talk, translation. I watched 2.5 hours of stuff on that.
Yeah, no, I didn't watch any of that. You just go. I know this is your baby. Talk about it.
This is my baby. All right, so Elden Ring's gonna be fantastic. We're looking at a Souls-like art open world game, easier multiplayer. They're dumbing down the difficulty even more, unfortunately. No specific order you gotta do the dungeons. There's a horse combat. I mean, don't there's a lot to
wait,
like.
Wait. I just love we've been looking for sound clips. And Chris, literally, your phrase was, "There's a horse." I really think I'm just going to cut that out and make that a sound clip for us. What were you doing? There was a horse.
Out of
There's a
all the
horse.
things you could talk about, because I watched that amazing trailer, the first thing you bring up is there's a horse.
There's a horse. I'm sorry, but look,
There's a horse.
I've played every FromSoft game since Demon Souls, and I have enjoyed every single one of them. But my biggest complaint about almost all of them is it takes you forever. You have to fast travel. With the horse, you're going to be able to do open world combat. You're talking about being invaded, and you're on a horseback. Potentially, you're being invaded while there's a horse. You're riding. There's a horse. While you're riding the horse, and the horse kicks you off, you're no longer able to ride it until you defeat your enemy. On top of your co-op summons, there's going to be, your multiplayer, and then potential enemies that you can capture their soul and summon them for combat. That's going to be pretty fun.
Oh, that is interesting. I didn't get a chance to watch. I just watched the trailer. I didn't get a chance to watch what you watched. So the fact that you can do that. I think the other thing that I'm really, really excited about with it is some of that tech is the loading times. Like, I think like in Demon Souls, like it took so long and it's like, first world problems type sort of shit. But, to me, like it drew you out of the experience, all the loading screens for everything. Like every time you turn somewhere, you had to have a loading screen, or you do this and then it's a loading screen, With this, I guarantee you there's really going to be no loading screens.
And the Demon Souls remastered, there was next to no loading screens. Like what they're doing with that is going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
So, it literally went cloudy and you were there.
Yep. And that what has a release date of
next January, I think.
Yeah, I think it's January it's coming out.
I might be sick that day.
Yeah, we might be taking vacation days for that one. So obviously Chris, January 21st. So Chris, that's a definite buy for you day one.
Yes.
Yeah. Ryan, what was your thought? Did you watch it? Did you not care?
I didn't watch what Chris watched, but I watched the trailer like 3 or 4 times because that was fucking amazing. That is a game that typically is not in my wheelhouse, but I'm definitely going to be trying that one. That looks awesome.
Especially when you have, 3 other veterans that actually play them. So if you get caught, we can always help.
The multiplayer helps too, yeah.
Yeah, because that's the other thing.
It looks like a fun game.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, depending on like how the multiplayer is, like there are different types of multiplayers. People can invade you. People, you can actually summon other people to happen. But I wouldn't call it annoying multiplayer. And Chris, you know what I mean by that. Like, you're not going to like.
You're not your normal PvP. All right.
You're not going to go around a corner and somebody's not going to stab you. Like you're going to know that somebody's in your game. Like at least all the Dark Souls, when somebody invaded your game, you knew somebody was in your game. So like you had to watch out for them.
It tells you, so and so has invaded you, and it's like, all right, now it's time to fight. Yeah.
So like you get to the point where you can actually, So yeah, no, I've always liked the Demon Souls or I'm sorry, not Demon Souls, the Dark Souls way of doing multiplayer. So yeah, so I'm actually, yeah, I'm so we have 2 probably going to buy the game, hopefully possibly right off the bat, if not right off the bat. Me looking at it, yeah, absolutely. For Chris, everything that you talked about. I'm late into the Souls games genre, but from what I have played of them, I'm all for it. And this just looks, Miyazaki and George R.R. Martin collaboration, I'm all for it. So, let's see. The next, I think, big game that I don't think was a surprise, but I also don't think it was not like Like, I don't think it was like a bland announcement, but I don't think it was a surprising announcement. I think it was just kind of like, okay, we kind of knew this. It just kind of now got confirmed. And that's Starfield. Starfield confirmed that it's an Xbox PC exclusive. But that's not coming out till the end of next year. So 11/11 of 2022, which
It's a Skyrim anniversary.
yeah, it's a Skyrim anniversary. That's what I was going to say. Yeah, Skyrim was released on 11/11. So the 11/11 is, very sacred to Bethesda. Though I did see somebody describe it as Skyrim in space.
Oh, Bethesda described it as that. They said that.
Yeah, they said that. And a Han Solo simulator. So whatever that means, because I've never played a Han Solo simulator.
You're a space pirate? I don't know.
Yeah,
It'll be fun.
I think the thing that throws me with it, and it happens with all Bethesda games to me, or not all Bethesda, but it happened with the Fallouts to me. They'll show these great trailers, okay? And then they'll get into the actual gameplay, and the gameplay will look completely different. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's 99% of trailers compared to the games.
Yes. So, I mean, you're looking at we're looking at Starfield, though. It wasn't a CG. That was in-game graphics. So that's what we're going to be seeing when you're playing that game. It wasn't overdone. It wasn't underdone. I mean, when we're looking at next gen Bethesda game, you got to take a generation back on graphics on how it's supposed to look, and then you're going to get that.
True. And what I mean by that is, like, Skyrim had great, I think, cinematics. Okay. But then it's like, to me, the characters all felt stiff. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Or no? Like, everything was very stiff.
The thing is, you can't beat on a game that is 10 years old.
That's true too. You're right. That's not fair. You're right. That's not fair. It is 10 years old.
It's like, all right, a Morrowind. I absolutely love a Morrowind. I absolutely love Oblivion, but they don't hold a candle to anything today on graphic wise. And you're right. Want to talk, you're talking about stiff. That's the one thing. Is it now? If they keep that stiffness, is Starfield gonna hurt? Definitely. Are people just going to buy it because who's making it? Yes.
True. But so the question I have with that is, how much of a system seller is that? And can Xbox really wait a whole year to say, this is our power move for our system?
Yeah. Yes.
See, I don't think so.
They own Bethesda. If they did Starfield a exclusive, I'm pretty sure we're going to see a timed exclusive for Starfield at least a year before it hits PlayStation. I see maybe even longer.
So you're saying that Starfield, you think, will sooner or later make it to PlayStation?
All right. So Xbox had Medium. That was their big. This is our game. But they didn't put any information on there on it's going to PlayStation. If you look at the PlayStation pre-orders now, Medium's there.
True. Well, I mean, they were also toting Scarlet Nexus, and it's supposedly, you have all the haptic feedbacks and all of that to PlayStation also.
I mean, we really can't, it would be dumb of Microsoft and not to sell these games multi-platform, not just including PC, but putting it on the PlayStation.
So you're looking at it could be a timed exclusive, even though it's not been confirmed that's a timed exclusive.
It would be financially stupid to do that. I mean, you bought Bethesda, but you can't make Bethesda an Xbox exclusive or PC. I mean, you just can't.
They're also not going to tell you that it's a timed exclusive because they're going to want you. They're going to want you to think you have to get an Xbox to get it.
This is true. And probably by contract, Because it has been told, you know, it has this, like, PlayStation can't even come out and say it's a timed exclusive because it's probably a contract where it says, yeah, it's timed exclusive, but that means it's an embargo for you to say that. Which, I mean, there's embargoes on a whole bunch of shit. So, so from what you saw, Chris, day one buy, wait 6 months, wait a year, wait until it goes to PlayStation.
Wait 6 months. Look, Bethesda has had a horrible time with their game management and play testing. I mean, I'm not going to buy a game that's going to be unplayable for the first 3 months.
It's true, even though they say that it's been in development for 25 years.
And it's a new IP, so it's brand new for Bethesda, which makes me even more nervous.
Look how bad Fallout 76 is. I like that game. Okay? I like that game. And I'm not playing it because it is a glitchy mess.
True.
And that's something they're used to making. That's Fallout. This is a brand new IP, so who knows what could happen.
If you screw up your bread and butter, then how bad is this new one going to be screwed up?
Exactly. I agree. I agree 100% with that. I think that they will polish it up. I think the question then comes into it is that, so I have an Xbox, so it really doesn't make much sense for me to say whether or not. I think, I want to get more information before I make a determination. Right now, it's not a day one buy for me. It's just not. I want to get more information on it.
Well,
if it's literally just Skyrim or if it's Fallout in space, I want to see what it actually looks like. I want to see how it actually plays. I want to see what people actually say about it before, I really kind of get into it. But the question that comes up, go ahead.
Well, here's another thing. You don't have to buy it. It's on Game Pass.
Well, that's true too.
I mean,
that's
another allure that Microsoft has. It's like, it's $15 a month, and hey, by the way, if you don't want to buy it, but you can have an access to these hundreds of games, including all of our first party games, then get an Xbox and you can play it for free. Well, you're paying for it, but it's cheaper.
Yeah, but remember, you don't own the game. It's like you're renting it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I still say that Xbox Game Pass is a great thing for you to be able to try new games. But, I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying. Would this game, if you haven't gotten an Xbox, Chris, would this game, I know you said 6 months, but would this game make you want to get an Xbox?
No.
Ryan?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, if I didn't have an Xbox, I would want more information, but I don't see anything right now to it that says I need to have an Xbox so I can get it. On top of that, with it also going to PC, some people are going to look at it and say it might run the best on PC. So
no, it will.
Yeah, it's going to run better on PC, but I mean, it's not saying that I don't want the new Xbox. I do. I'm just not going to go on Facebook and spend, $800 on something that's going to be out there sooner or later.
True. Xbox was at normal price. Would you get it?
Yeah.
Okay. Next one from Nintendo. Wait, before we do that, overall thought process of what did you think overall for the conference from Xbox? I mean, that was really kind of the big one. I mean, do you feel that it was, and this is where you thought it was average? Ryan, what about you?
5 out of 10.
It was underwhelming. I thought they'd bring out the big guns. I think they think Starfield was their big gun, but after Fallout 76, Bethesda's kind of, people are on thin ice with Bethesda and trust. So it's not really the big gun they were thinking it would be.
Yeah, I agree. The best tweet that I saw about this was when it comes to Xbox in their presentation was in 19, then, you have like the then and now. Then here are the games that nobody thought would ever come to our system, and they're almost done, and you can play them very soon. Now it's, hey, we made a game. We have a name. And we think it's going to be released at some point. But here's another one too. And here's another game. And here's another game. Like, it was just like no overwhelming things. It was just kind of like,
if we go back to E3 in 2019, just as an example, it was, hey, here is 30 things. And guess what? They're coming out in the end of this year. But because of the pandemic, we can't just say, hey, here's 30 things from all these developers that are coming out this year. Hey, here's 10 things that you're going to see this year, and here's 20 things you're going to see next year.
This is true. And I think one of the things that I've seen with Xbox, though, too, is that they rely very heavy on their current franchises. And I know that PlayStation does that too, but I don't think to the extent, like, it's almost a given that you're going to see something Forza, even if it's not a new game. We're going to have, here's a Forza thing.
I mean,
you know,
I'm not defending Xbox in any way, but PlayStation's just as bad. Here's Gran Turismo.
well, they don't do Gran Turismo every single year. And that's what I'm saying. Like, every single year, you can almost guarantee you're going to have, here's a Forza update.
Now,
Forza
does look fantastic. I will say that.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. Like, not bad. Like I said, I think, yeah, it was great that they had a whole bunch of games. But on the other end, it was kind of like, well, that's great. But are we just kind of getting fed that, hey, look, we have games, so don't think that we don't have games anymore? Or, hey, these are actually some good games. And I think that, you know, for the bulk of them, they're going to be good. But I also think that it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think the balance was great with it. I'm giving it like a 6 to like 7, like a 6.5. I mean, I did like that there was a Starfield. You know, I did like, they have whatever the new game, like Stalker 2 looks great. What is it? What's that? Red Bone, Red Fin, something like that. I don't know, something red. What is it? I don't know. I forgot what it's, I can't find what it is, but whatever that was. Sea of Thieves, you know, the Pirates of the Caribbean crossover. I thought it was pretty cool.
Which is like, I hate, sorry to interrupt you, but which is weird because Disney said that they were done with Johnny Depp, and here Disney goes giving Johnny Depp over to Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder if there's going to be a.
There's going to be.
I think so.
It's an interesting crossover. It's a cool concept, but considering their status with Johnny Depp and the status of those movies, the crossover is a few years too late.
Yeah. What is it? The other one, Contraband. That was a teaser trailer that, I mean, that's just, you're basically thieves in an open world and you play co-op. So that sounds pretty cool.
Contraband looks interesting. I'm intrigued by that.
Yeah. And the fact that they're playing, God, what is it? What's the song? Hold on, I can pull it up. I know what the song is.
The whole thing's based in the 70s, from what I read.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we all saw the trailer. It looks interesting. I will say that.
Yeah, it's Steely Dan. It's "Do It Again" by Steely Dan. The song.
They did a good job. They did a good job with that teaser trailer because, you know, it's just a teaser. It gives you almost nothing but a brief look, but it did just the right amount of stuff to grab my interest to keep looking into it and wait for updates to see what it's actually going to be like.
And like I said, with the song also caught me too. It, you know, "Do It Again" by Steely Dan. It's a great song, and okay, that's playing. I'm going to see how they're going to associate that with the game. My favorite announcement for Xbox actually was Outer Worlds 2. So Outer Worlds 2 is made by the people that made by Obsidian. So it's the people that made New Vegas. So I thought that was pretty cool. I thought the trailer was great because it kind of was the tweet that I saw. It's like the trailer is like, it talks about, it's like, Here we have this, and now what you want to do is you want to have people running for absolutely no reason, and then you want to show a stark background, and you start to zoom out as if you were flying through the air, and then you see a silhouette of the character, the main character, but you only see the back of him because we probably haven't developed the front of him yet. The one thing that we can tell you is that we have a name, and that's this, and it was Outer Worlds 2. So I thought the trailer was pretty cool. But
see, I gotta say, mine was Battlefield.
Really,
dude, you don't realize how many hundreds of hours I put into Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3. I've put thousands of hours between those two games. I paid for a server for both of those games, a hardcore server. I mean, I am a...
What was that game actually? Was that an actual announcement during E3, or was that prior to E3?
Well, that was an E3 announcement. They announced it on the Xbox E3.
Okay,
but it was not play it first on Xbox, but announced
that's always going to be multiplayer.
So there was two trailers. There was that CG trailer, and then they went and did the CG trailer and in-game footage. And the new engine they have is holding up very well. It's old Battlefield. It's not the new stuff that they've done the past 2 years that have been just beaten on and destroyed, because nobody wants to do the old modes where it's like capture A, capture B. Hey, we're advancing the map into, and now we're moving up. No, everybody wants these giant maps that you can have a full tank assault while there's planes going on. There's jets going on. You got drones on one part of the map. There's a tornado in another section, and you're trying to fight your way through this.
It's just true. Like Battlefield has always been really, really, really big maps. Which I like.
But this game with the footage, it looks like it's on a whole nother level.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I play Battlefield. I know, Chris, you and I have played Battlefield before. The question I have is, Ryan, you are not a big, first-person shooter competitive multiplayer. You're not even a really kind of a big multiplayer against other people. Like, you'll co-op. Is it intriguing enough for you to possibly try it?
That game looks fucking insane. Yeah, I'm going to try that.
Yeah, you stick with Chris and me, and we get a good team going. What is it? 120 people on one map at one time?
Yeah, divided into two teams of 60.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
And you can have up to, I think this one's going to allow you to have a 6-man squad. So 6 people coordinating on that game, even with the 60 versus 60. Half the time the other team is not coordinating at all. There's not, there's a group of 2 friends playing with, 4 other strangers who are able to get a 6-man team. You could do serious damage in capturing objectives.
God.
Okay, so we're going to continue with that. So Battlefield, going on to Battlefield, I think the other thing too, so what I was saying is that you have, somebody was just putting C4 on a plane and just went into the back and waited for somebody to get in the plane, and as the plane went up, they just hit it, and the plane just blew up in midair.
No, that's how you C4.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I think the other thing too is the destructible environments. I love the fact that you actually can blow up buildings.
Well, you can blow up buildings. I mean, on just as
the
an
map
example,
is always evolving.
On Battlefield 4, they had the Destructo Vision or whatever they called it, and you can actually set where like dams, levees, pipelines will actually burst and change the environment completely.
Correct.
And so will fire sand tornadoes.
I'm really interested to see how we're going to start a fire sand tornado.
I believe you don't start that. I believe that's just a random weather event that's going to happen or not happen when you're on that map. So it's just,
I don't know.
You play, and then out of nowhere, tornado of doom.
I don't know. I mean, in Battlefield 4, there's a map where you're on several different islands and a lot of watercraft. and you had to shoot down a wind turbine to free a ship to crash into the island, and it would start a hurricane.
Gotcha.
So I mean,
It could be
tornado. It could be something related like that.
It could be that, yeah, because you don't want it to be random to where people could play an entire game on the map and not get the fire tornado because you can't cause it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a feeling in the first month of that game, you're just going to see endless amounts of footage, people posting of just them doing crazy shit in the fire tornado.
Oh, definitely. Oh my god, I glitched in.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Just throwing C4 into the fire tornado.
Yeah, I'm game.
True. Let me get back to my play. So I think that's pretty cool. So we at least have 2 games that are looking at day one buys, which is good to me. I don't know. As far as Breath of the Wild, that's what I want to talk about. Breath of the Wild 2. Good teaser, bad teaser.
It's going to be interesting, but
all they said was 2022.
They gave a little, just 20 seconds of gameplay. I mean, they didn't really give enough. And I don't know if I like the new look for Link. I mean, obviously they're going to keep it similar to how it was, where you could just put on armor and change up your outfit. But I don't know. I was honestly a little disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously it's going to be to me it's going to be a day one buy because I love Zelda and all of that. But
Definitely.
I don't know, yeah, I think it was too much of a tease to me. There's still really no explanation. I mean, is this literally just going to be a reskin Breath of the Wild? Everything is great and it's just going to feel like you're just adding on the story? Are there different mechanics? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I want to know.
They did show a little bit of different mechanics on him moving through the ground in that green mist.
Yeah, that's true, but I don't know. I mean, it's still obviously still going to buy just because I'm a Zelda fan. Period. So I think people are saying that they actually like this. I think it looks really fucking dumb. This Guardian of the Galaxies game.
Thank you.
It looks really dumb to me.
Oh, that. Made by this, I believe the same people that made Avengers. That's not promising.
No, it's definitely not promising. I am not looking forward to the Guardian of the Galaxy game at all. Even if they do the whole spin on Thor being part of it, they're gonna get bad voice actors. They're not gonna pay out the money to get Chris Hemsworth and everybody else to do their parts.
Well, they don't want to. They want it to be its own thing.
I know.
Which the problem with that is people are so the MCU's been around so long, and these guys have been doing so great in the movies that it's just ingrained into people's heads, especially people that never read the comics, and this was their introduction to the characters, was the movies, that those actors and their voices are the characters to them. So then this is kind of it's very jarring for a lot of people.
When I was watching the Avenger gameplay and I was hearing Tony Stark's voice, that was the deciding factor if I was going to buy that game.
Oh, you mean Nolan North?
Yes.
The voice in every video game ever made. Nolan North.
Yep. I think the what is it? It's kind of taken on the issue of the Harry Potter movies. People have not a problem. Obviously, a lot of people, if not most of 90% of the people, have probably read the books. I know there's a big percentage that just watch the movies. But when the first movie came out, before all the end of the books, you had Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson or whatever. That's Hermione. That's Harry. And then as people read the books, it's that's the faces that they associated with the characters. And now you go over and you look at them and you're just hey, that's Ron Weasley. That's Harry Potter. I think the only one that's really been able to kind of break out of that is probably Emma Watson to a point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know Emma has been in other things, but like
I can't name a single one.
She was Belle in Beauty and the Beast, the live action.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
she was
I didn't watch that.
One of the characters in Perks of Being a Wallflower, which is an amazing movie. I absolutely love that movie. So my one recommendation, if you haven't seen it, Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Hey, your boy Harry Potter could break out of that too. He's one of the runners up right now to be the next Wolverine.
Yeah, I heard about that. I think would be great.
But I don't think it's going to go to him because, from what I understand, another two names being thrown around, which is bad for Daniel Radcliffe, are Zac Efron and Carl Urban. If you know Carl Urban as Dredd from the movie Dredd, and is now Billy the Butcher in the show The Boys.
I think he could do it because he got into really good shape for being Billy the Butcher.
Oh, that, and most people would recognize him as the Executioner from Thor Ragnarok.
Yes. But I think, I also think Zac Efron could do a good job.
My vote's Carl Urban. But I'm kind of rooting for Daniel Radcliffe so he could have something that bursts him out of that, that bubble.
Well, that's what I'm loving about Robert Pattinson from the stuff I've seen with the Batman. He's not a sparkly vampire anymore.
No,
he's doing a good job.
He's emo Bruce Wayne, who refuses to work out for the role of fucking Batman. Don't get me started on that.
Oh, yes. that could be another episode. We'll put that into another episode.
Put that in the pocket. Let's not get me fired up. Continue.
We'll get back to E3. Avatar game, I could care less about. I was never a big fan of Avatar. Nothing against it. It's just not my cup of tea. I don't know about you guys. Don't really care.
I felt the same way about the trailer as I did about the movie. And in the movie, I fell asleep about 40 minutes into it. And by fell asleep, I mean I was so bored that I drank myself to sleep because I brought a flask.
Redfall was the game I was thinking of. Redfall looks okay.
Is that?
I want to know more about it.
Is that the one with the team of kids fighting the vampires?
Yes.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. So, I got that one, and then they also have the other one, which is if you really want to watch another vampire freaky trailer, look up Masquerade 2. I know the first one's out; it's been on PC for a while, but I mean,
I did watch the trailer for that. Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that it's Christmas or whatever, and the one vampire is setting up the Christmas like picture, like the family picture or whatever like that, but every single one of the family is strung up by like hooks. Like, yeah, it's really kind of interesting.
It's a family game.
It's a family game. Ryan, I know that you're going to love this one, Flight Simulator.
I am so excited for Flight Simulator. Let me tell you, I just can't wait to spend countless hours just staring at a screen and tilting left or right.
But it has its niche of whoever likes that.
I make fun, but it's going to be a successful thing. It's been around for the length of time it has for a reason.
Though the one thing that people are not liking about it is, what is it? It only runs at 30 frames per second on Xbox, and it runs at 60 on PC. But you need like crazy high-end graphics, build on a PC for it to run at 60 frames anyway.
Well, the people who play those games are the hardcore people who get all the upgrades possible, and just they make it their own world where they're like actually flying, simulating flying a plane. So that's the audience they're going for. So they'll have no problem selling whatever they need to.
Yep. Chris, this one might be intriguing to you. Diablo 2 Resurrected Remastered.
Yes.
I thought so.
Yes. I will own that again. I'll probably own that on the console.
Chris answered that question almost before you asked it.
That's why I asked him directly with it. Him and me and a group when Diablo 3 came out on console.
This is how we met.
Yeah. It's literally how Chris and I met. We had a common buddy that Diablo 3 came out on Xbox, or it came out on console, And we literally, Ryan, I'm telling you, we probably spent in, God, a month, probably
I'm
three
guessing
quarters
that-
of the month playing it.
I think I know
And
what you're
it wasn't-
talking about. Me
and
and
it
me and
wasn't-
this buddy have something in common, don't we? Red hair, really loud.
Yep.
Yes, but not just that. It would be our redheaded step friend. It would be
Yeah.
Dan. It would be Bonnie. It'd be me, and
Yeah.
there'd be another buddy of ours. Dan and Bonnie were split screening, so we would constantly hear Bonnie go, "Follow them! I can't see what they're doing."
Yep. Or I
I
go
wanna
into a
go over
menu and it
here.
would pause everybody else.
Yeah.
Yep. You had that, but no, I mean, we put fucking so many hours into Diablo 3. So many hours. Yeah, I don't even know. I know it's probably close to the 500 to 600 hour mark, and I know people have put in way more than that. But I'm literally saying that's probably one of the games I played the most of that year. So, did I mention Babylon's Fall? I know
No,
that's a
but-
platinum game. It says it's a
Nah.
live service action game. Yeah, PlayStation 5 version was also announced in PlayStation 4 and PC. So it looks like a Godfall to me. I don't know. I got to find more information before we start talking about it. And I think the last thing then is Rocksmith Plus, which I think is pretty cool that they're actually pulling. It's only PC right now for Ubisoft, but I think it's pretty cool. Like Rocksmith was a really good how to learn to play guitar. So if you have a guitar, you can plug it into your PC and then it actually teaches you. I think that's actually pretty cool that now they're using, power of that and they've updated that and you can learn actually how to play songs. So I think pretty cool. It's like, musical lessons without actually having to pay.
Guitar just for that game. I spent like $500 and I bought an electric guitar just for that game. And it does work, but my problem is that I have bitch fingertips and they were starting to bleed because when I'm playing a game, I'm not playing it for 20 minutes.
True. I'm wondering if we can hashtag that. Bitch fingertips.
Bitch tips.
Hashtag bitch.
Hashtag bitch tips.
Bitch tips. Okay.
So there's a horse in bitch.
Oh yeah, there's a horse.
There's a horse in Rocksmith too.
So,
I gotta say the one thing that surprised, I don't know if you were a fan of it, but I got really excited for was the remastered Advanced Wars 1 and 2.
yeah, I've never played Advance Wars just because I never had the Nintendo systems to do it. But
You never had
I'm
a Game Boy
definitely
Advance?
no, I never had a Game Boy Advanced. Honestly, I never
Wow.
had one. Yeah, no, for the longest time I was PlayStation, and that's really all I can afford. So all my money went to PlayStation. I didn't own I didn't own a Nintendo 64. Did not own a GameCube. Did not own a Game Boy Advanced. Did not own a Wii. My parents ended up owning the Wii after I already moved out. And then I went back and I owned a Wii U, and that was about it. So yeah, no, I never really had anything between that.
I mean, if they are not doing anything to the AI, so it's going to not age too well. But it is a Nintendo turn-based strategy game.
Well, I mean, I love the whole thing of Advance Wars. I mean, you're a whole bunch of tanks or military things, and it's cartoonish, and you're placing things on a board. Yeah, to me, it's a lot of fun. I definitely check it out.
Kind of like Fire Emblem.
Yeah, true. Definitely like Fire Emblem. So, I know we kind of went over all of this. Relevance of E3 now. I think that's going to be the last thing we'll talk about. And I know that there's a whole bunch of games that we didn't talk about, but we just don't have time to. Chris, your final thoughts on E3, and is it losing its relevance to the gaming industry right now?
Didn't that happen a couple of years ago?
Okay, well, that answered that question.
I mean, like, let's just be honest. With YouTube, with Sony breaking away from E3 by themselves, it's pretty much done. I mean, back when there was the vendors and it was this big event and you would have the YouTube personalities there Yeah, that was great. But now it's just all digital. There's no big events. There's no venues.
Well, they just did digital because of COVID still. So I mean, they're going to try to get back to public. I'm just saying, them being relevant. Like, is it even relevant anymore?
As long as E3 is digital, it's not relevant. The whole point of E3 was getting your hands on something.
True.
And if you I mean, let's be honest. If E3 had venues next year, I will do my best to go there. We'll get some we'll get some stuff. See if we can actually get some in-person interviews. But that was what E3 was about. Is going there, trying to talk to devs, get those hard questions out that they don't want to answer, and getting them to slip up. Like, hey, if you were to get percentage on your game completion, what would you say? Oh, I'm not really supposed to answer this. That's fine. So that means it's under 15%. And, then you can get them, well, no, I would say it's more like 45 or 50. Then you get a good idea of how close they are to play testing, how close they are to actually getting some real gameplay footages out there.
True. Good points, Ryan. Same question to you. What do you think that E3 is relevant, and if they on a digital platform, and if they go back to in-person platform, do you think it will grow in relevance, or do you think that it, what we were just talking about? What's your thought?
I think this year definitely showed how digital is hurting it. Going back to venues is going to definitely bring E3 back in a big way, because E3 is all about it's not about the conferences or the game reveals, it's about the experience.
So
that's the big thing with E3. So as soon as they can get back to venues, I think that's going to bring E3 back in a big way. And you could even see PlayStation back there.
Possibly, yeah.
It's just because PlayStation, they love, like anybody, they love showing off their games in a big, elaborate. I remember the God of War reveal. This big
with the orchestra and yeah.
Oh yeah, it's about being there and experiencing it, which you cannot really do digitally. Yep.
So in other words, if E3 is listening to us, we should plan an actual time to go out there as a podcast. Hopefully. But we should save up as a podcast, and
I'll take a week.
I'll take a week too. And let's go. Let's see if we can't get out there. Ryan, you in?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I think you guys make very, very good points. I think the relevance of E3 is always going to have to be there, because there's always going to have to be some form of a medium or a venue to be able to push out information the way that they do. I mean, everybody has conferences, every industry has conferences. I think you're right, though. I think the digital side of it is hurting, because you're right. People want to get their hands on things. They want to see it. They want that swag. They want to network with people. That's how games get created. That's how ideas get spread. Than just sitting behind a computer.
E3. I didn't. I watched all the trailers.
Same. And I used to watch E3 religiously.
Oh yeah, me too.
It was like an event. It was an event. You would watch the entire thing.
Yeah.
And if you couldn't, you'd record it.
And it was just not a couple little days like that. It was a 4 or 5 day thing.
Well, it was always 4 days. Yep. But that's the thing. You're right. It was always 3 days, but then you always had things like over the weekend that it would come out, and you were waiting for leaks, and you're waiting for an announcement that would be thrown on Twitter at 1:00 in the morning. Like I remember Square Enix made an announcement about Final Fantasy something or whatever, and it was like at 1:30 in the morning. It was when I was doing the radio show, and I was with, the other guys that, the other people that I was doing that. It was right before E3. It was that Thursday. So like Friday is the weekend before, and, we're waiting Saturday and Sunday. And then what is it? Something, it was something in Japan, and it was 1:00 our time in the morning, and it was an announcement. We're like, holy shit, something's happening, So yeah, that's what I kind of miss. I miss those like big things, like, suddenly this now exclusive is now not exclusive anymore, and it's going over here. And you know what I'm saying? Like, here's the surprise thing. Like when Gabe Newell came out on the PlayStation 3 at Sony thing and said that Portal's coming to PlayStation, even the same one where Kevin Butler, came out and had that whole speech, You know, I mean, it's like, you know, that's what I
look
miss
at this.
watching.
You want to see what your avatar's bottom of your foot looks like? Bam!
So
Jesus.
stupid. God, I hate it. I hate him. I hate that. I think I know I've talked about this, but I swear, even though he looked like death and crap, I think I'd actually have more respect for him. I lost all respect when he said, "Hey, you want to see what the bottom of an Avatar shoe looks like?" Bam! Like nobody gives a shit.
Jeez.
I pushed the wrong button.
Yeah, don't push that button.
Oh
Danny.
man,
He hates
Oh, man.
he hates that guy that got turned down from a role in Sopranos.
for Chris. Chris has we have a horse. Dan has bottom of an Avatar shoe.
There's a horse.
And if you move the camera the right way, you can see the bottom of the character's shoe.
Yeah, if you move the camera
While
the right
he's
way
on the horse.
in certain other games, and you move the camera the right way, you can see other things on other characters too. Hashtag
You perv.
hashtag jiggle physics.
You know, there was. I read there was once a game that like I don't remember what the game was called, but I read about it. It was this game that's you're like a cheerleader fighting zombies, and I read that like
I know
a bunch
exactly
of people,
what you're talking
bunch
about.
of people were
and it
getting
has
called out for getting an achievement because the game
They were
literally
trying to get
triggered an achievement if you were trying to look up her skirt.
Yeah. Oh god, what was that?
Everyone would know
Lollipop
you got
chainsaw.
everyone would
Yes.
know you got that trophy and that you're a pervert.
Lollipop chainsaw.
Lollipop chainsaw.
Good. That's the
You know why?
funniest
Because
thing.
I was working for Game Crazy, and we had a district manager come do visits, and he was checking out the Xbox, and he saw the achievement, and he asked who got it.
Chris,
That's
was it
hilarious.
you? Was
the
it
only
you?
reason.
Be honest.
Yes.
Can I still say one of the funniest? And what is it? Does our buddy still have the video of it? Chris is working Game Crazy. Chris, you know where I'm going with this.
I do.
And he pulls out, what was it, an Xbox?
PlayStation 3.
It was a PlayStation 3. He puts it on the counter. The guy grabs it and runs out the store. And all you see in pure, like, 460 or 420p, low res, security camera footage, all Chris going and mouthing, fuck. It's one of the funniest videos. Chris, we got to put it on our YouTube. We have to find it and we have to put it up on YouTube.
You have my permission to do that. And fun little fact, the guy's still in jail.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
For stealing the PlayStation 3?
Yep. Had a unregistered firearm. He had a firearm in his vehicle that was not registered to him.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that will do it.
Yeah, good time.
So good thing I
America.
really didn't. All I did is I when he did that, I chased him out of the store. I got his license plate number. I was saying it out loud repeatedly to myself, and then I wrote it down on a piece of paper. Called 911 because at the time it was I believe it was that Metal Gear Solid one with the 40 gig hard drive.
Yeah.
So that was like a $1,000.
It was a limited edition.
Yeah, it was $1,000 gaming system, which PlayStation better never make that mistake again. But anyways, and because it was over that much, it was considered a felony.
Yep. That's what I was going to say. The value of it probably made it a felony too. Yeah, but no, I'm saying it's one of the funniest videos. I'm sorry, I'm telling you, it's just mouthing fuck. Let's see. But no, I think that's going to do it for us. So once again, guys, thank you for joining, tonight and talking post E3 stuff. Once again, to our audience out there, love that you guys have downloaded us. Love the support. Thank you so much. Keep it coming. Comments, subscribers, all of that. Check us out on twitch.tv/thesavepointtv. You're downloading us already on whatever system or thing that you're downloading us on. So thank you again. And with that, until next time, guys, have a good night.
There's a horse.